Two of my cousins, in a creative moment, decided that they were going to reenact the live birth of baby Jesus. Okay, a Christmas story for the ages. Cheers. Every year on Christmas Eve, I essentially ran a talent agency. I simultaneously sourced talent and directed the talent in a production. Unlike most establishments with qualified applicants who are vying for roles, I was gifted my stars, who were 3 young boys, ages 4, 7, and 9, roughly, who all liked to fight a lot and focus a little, and 3 shy tween preteen girls. This was the ragtag bunch of cousins that I worked with, and together we put on the Christmas play every single year. Hi, I'm Hannah Michelotti. Ugh. Hi, I'm Hannah Michelotti. I'm a public speaking and presentation coach in Portland, Oregon, and I work with creative and corporate professionals like you to speak with clarity, confidence, and charisma. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. In this video today, I'm going to teach you how to tell a hilarious Christmas story for the ages in under 3 minutes. I'm going to do that by first telling you the story, and then I will analyze components of the story. During one particularly challenging year where I believe all 3 boys were having a rubber band fight with one another and missed every single cue for dress rehearsal, I quit. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I was 15 and I was over it. I was done, so I quit. I said, you all can put on the production. We've gotten to the point of the dress rehearsal. You should be fine, and if you're not, well, good luck. You'll have to figure it out when you're on stage. Oh, that spindrift is getting to me. I took my seat with the rest of the family to watch the production later that evening on Christmas Eve, and my cousins had strung a piece of string across the living room with scotch tape to attach it to the walls and hung a sheet over the top to indicate a curtain. Everything about the show went perfectly as planned, just like I had wanted it to. Until, of course, the birth of baby Jesus. 2 of my cousins, in a creative moment, decided that they were going to reenact the live birth of baby Jesus, wherein my younger cousin, smaller cousin, sat in a chair and birthed out my larger girl cousin, complete with blood-curdling screams and sweat rags. One of my other cousins was dabbing sweat from Mary as she sat in the plastic chair giving birth to my cousin. I was mortified. This birthing scene went on for minutes. It was probably the longest focal point of the entire production. My family, however, they thought this was the greatest acting of the Christmas play they had ever seen, and to boot, we captured it on film. No, I will not have clips of the film in this video. Some of the best stories that we have are told in under 3 minutes. First component to analyze. I started off with something that would spark your curiosity. I talked about how growing up, I essentially ran a talent agency and also directed productions. Every year on Christmas Eve, I essentially ran a talent agency. What exactly does that mean? I'm adding to some mystery. Then I added in a humorous quality. I said that my stars at the talent agency were essentially my cousins. Not essentially, they were my cousins. 3 boys and 3 girls with disparate attitudes and emotions and spectrums of thinking. What I didn't include in this story were all of the iterations that led up to this singular acting of the Christmas play in front of my family. And the reason I didn't include those is because they can be their own story on their own. I encapsulated this one single story, which usually works best when we're telling a story. When we jump forward and backwards in time, it's very hard for our audience to keep track of where we're going. So this was a singular, streamlined story, starting with who I was and my role, director of all of my cousins. What I was doing, directing the nativity scene, aka the Christmas play. Who was it for? My entire family. Next, we have the moment leading up to the climax, where I quit. What do you do when a director quits directing a show? Yes, the stakes were low. I was in my teenage years and my cousins were in their middle school years. But nonetheless, how does the show go on without the director? Because the show must go on, or at least that's what I believed. I fully also believed that my cousins might botch it or not do it entirely. Then we have the climax of the entire story, which is where 2 of my cousins decided to take creativity into their own hands and reenact a birthing scene without clearing it with anyone. Still shocking to think back on. The three girls decided this on their own, and they purposefully picked the older girl to come out as the baby from the younger girl because the size difference would be hilarious. They also made sure that the large baby Jesus was then placed on the small Mother Mary's lap, and there were lots of kisses on the forehead and sweat rag dabbing of the forehead. And finally, the resolution. I expected the show to be a miss, and it was a total hit for my family. In fact, it is the most talked about Christmas event or Christmas related event in my family. It's always remember that one time when they reenacted the birth of baby Jesus. This story also evokes a ton of nostalgia. If any of you ever did something like this year over year with your family or your friends, it feels similar to the story I told. Sure, you might not have acted out the nativity scene, but you might have done something similar, or you had a tradition, or you have a tradition that happens every single year. That's part of the holidays, and it's part of that nostalgic piece. We love nostalgia in stories. In order to tell a humorous story in under 1 minute, you have to have these key elements. You have to make sure that there's curiosity. You have to make sure that you spark your audience's interest. You have to make sure that there is a climax and a lead up to the climax. And you have to make sure also that there is a resolution. Things are funny when they get resolved in a way we don't expect. I expected my family to be horrified. My family was not horrified. I'd love for you to share some of your most humorous stories in the comments below, or give me a snippet of them. And if you're looking to improve your storytelling skills, I highly encourage you check out the rest of the videos on my channel, including how to tell a killer 1 minute story, or you can check out my 10-week program, Present with Confidence, where there's an entire week devoted to storytelling, how to tell stories, how to lay them out, and how to make sure that they are engaging, funny, interactive, and they stick the landing, just like a gymnast. You want both feet on the ground and the audience to go wild. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.